It starts like any superhero origin. Mark Grayson is a normal teenager living in a normal house with a very not normal dad. His father is Nolan Grayson, Omni-Man, the greatest superhero on Earth. Mark's mom, Debbie, is the glue holding the family together. She's loving, she's supportive, and quietly terrified of what being a hero does to people. Then Mark finally gets his powers. Flight, strength, speed. He becomes invincible. And Nolan immediately starts training him like a soldier, not a son. Because to Nolan, being a hero isn't about saving everyone. It's about being strong enough to win. Mark tries to balance two lives, school, friends, dating. He starts seeing Amber Bennett, but she's constantly annoyed because Mark keeps vanishing without explanation. He also reconnects with Samantha Eve Wilkins, better known as Adam Eve. She introduces him to the teen team: Rexplode, Loud and Reckless, Duplicate, and Robot, the silent genius who runs the whole operation. But the teen team is already cracking. Rex cheats on Eve, Eve walks away, and Mark gets pulled right into the mess. Meanwhile, Mark meets Alan the Alien, an agent from the Coalition of Planets. He's testing Earth's defenses for a bigger war coming someday. A little bit later, Omni-Man does the unthinkable. Without warning, he murders the Guardians of the Globe, the greatest heroes on Earth. He slaughters them all in minutes, and the world mourns. Debbie grieves, not knowing that the killer is sleeping in her bed. Only Cecil Stedman, head of the GDA, starts to suspect the truth. But what do you do when the villain is Omni-Man? Eventually, Nolan stops pretending. He tells Mark the truth. He's a Viltrumite. He wasn't sent here to help Earth, he was sent here to conquer it. And Nolan expects Mark to join him. Mark says no. So Nolan does what any Viltrumite would do. He tries to beat his son into obedience. Their fight destroys Chicago, buildings collapse, thousands die, and Mark gets beaten so badly he can barely breathe. And then Nolan hesitates, because for a second, he remembers Debbie. He remembers the life that he built on Earth, and Omni-Man abandons Earth. Mark survives, Debbie is shattered, and the world will never feel safe again. After the destruction that Omni-Man caused, Earth rebuilds, but Mark doesn't. He's traumatized. He feels guilty and terrified that he'll turn into his father one day. Off-world, Alan warns the Coalition that Nolan leaving Earth will get the Viltrumite Empire's attention. Then Alan gets ambushed by Viltrumites and nearly dies. But then he comes back stronger, a lot stronger. And back on Earth, the Guardians reform under Robot, who's revealed to be Rudy Connors. Rexplode, humbled by everything that's happened, actually starts taking hero work seriously. But the big threat this season isn't a monster, it's a man named Angstrom Levy. He can travel the multiverse, and after a failed experiment by the Mahler twins, Angstrom's mind gets flooded with memories from other realities. Realities where Invincible becomes a tyrant, a killer, a monster. Angstrom snaps, and he decides it's Mark's fault. Mark gets summoned to the planet Thraxa and finds something he never expected. His father, Nolan, is alive, and not just alive, he's ruling the planet. And standing next to Nolan is a child Mark never knew existed, Oliver. Mark barely has time to breathe before Viltrumite soldiers attack. Nolan protects Mark and gets captured, sentenced to death. Then the Empire gives Mark a choice: prepare Earth for invasion or watch everybody burn. Back home, Mark and Amber finally fall apart. Too many lies, too much damage, and Adam Eve starts drifting back into Mark's orbit. Their bond grows. Neither of them says what it really is. Then Angstrom makes it personal. He kidnaps Debbie and Oliver, forcing Mark into a multiversal chase. Mark loses control and he nearly kills Angstrom, and in the aftermath, Mark gets stranded in a dead dimension, a graveyard universe. No life, no help, and no escape, until future versions of the Guardians find him, and a future Adam Eve. She tells him something he's never heard out loud. She's always loved him. Mark ends up making it home, but he has changed now because now he knows what he could become, and that scares him more than any villain ever could. Having this new sense of fear and motivation, Mark trains harder than ever. He works with Cecil and he tells himself it's for the greater good, until he discovers the truth. Cecil has implanted failsafes inside of him, weapons, triggers, plans, not to help Mark, but to stop him, just in case Mark turns into Omni-Man 2.0. Their alliance ends violently. Cecil isn't doing it out of hate, he's doing it out of fear, and on Earth, fear makes people do brutal things. Meanwhile, Alan makes his own move. He deliberately gets captured and thrown into a Viltrumite prison, because that's where Nolan is. Alan finds him and offers him redemption, a chance to fight the Empire instead of serving it. But Mark doesn't get time to breathe. Angstrom returns and he comes back with an army. Evil multiversal invincibles, different versions of Mark, all living proof of what Mark could become. Earth gets overwhelmed and heroes die, cities collapse, and in the middle of all the chaos, Rexplode sacrifices himself to save his teammates. It's shocking, it's brutal, and it proves that this war is real now. Then something even worse arrives, Conquest, an ancient Viltrumite sent to judge Mark, and he doesn't come to talk. Their battle levels cities, and Mark gets pushed to the edge. Adam Eve nearly dies, and in the desperation, she breaks past her limits to save him. But it's still not enough. Mark finally defeats Conquest, but only by embracing brutality. Not heroic brutality, Viltrumite brutality. And afterwards, Alan engineers a prison break, freeing Nolan and other captives. Nolan finally admits it. He failed, he feels guilty, and he's done serving the Empire. He chooses his sons, he chooses Earth, but Cecil makes his own secret move. He keeps Conquest alive because he wants answers, he wants weapons, he wants something, anything that can help stop what's coming. Mark tells Oliver the truth about their world now. Sometimes killing might be necessary, not because they want to, but because the Viltrumites won't give them a choice. And across the universe, Angstrom Levy survives. The Viltrum Empire mobilizes, the Coalition prepares for war, and Mark Grayson is still invincible, but now he finally understands what the word really costs. Thank you so much for watching my recap of Invincible Seasons 1 through 3. Let me know in the comments which recap you want to see next. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.